Morning, everyone. Morning. Hope you all had a good long weekend. Ooh, let's get that off. There we go. Hope you had a good long weekend. Some of you would have taken yesterday off. Some of you would have traded it. There were some opportunities yesterday. It wasn't as bad as expected. And you can see we're seeing weakness in the market. If you didn't know, over the weekend, tension started to rise between America and the rest of Europe, who are not okay with Trump's positioning on Greenland, and to threaten them back, he said, well, I'll tariff you then. And so this is what we're now getting as a result, back into tariff wars, it seems. What are we doing? Well, we're leaving this low volume node. We can see these clusters here. We failed to break out. All right, so this is starting to break. We went over this last week, this wedge pattern, and we're starting to leave 5-day, 20-day, 50-day, all stuck in the lower volume node above, in and around these sort of 650s, and we've come down back towards this naked point of control that we talked about. I'll go over this in the higher time frame. This is all from the weekly newsletter, and you can see where we're finding a bid for now. All right, if we start to lose this bid, whether it's today or later in the week, then we've got some clear targets down below the lower Bollinger Band, next low volume node, 24,800s, even this 200-day. Everything's possible. So we're definitely starting to leave it. The question is, are we going to reject here this morning? Or because this is such a big drop, are we now looking at a sideways movement? Time will tell. Let's look at the higher time frames. And you can see what we've got. All right, here's the gap down from Friday to Sunday. This is yesterday's price. And you can see this was the key level that we were looking for an over-under in, 25,300. This is what we talked about in the newsletter. All right, we're expecting that drop down to there. Then what happens? Well, we're starting to lose it. All right, we're starting to lose it. If we look at the volume we created yesterday, it was in here. If we look at the current developing profile, it's here, and we're not finding acceptance back inside those levels. So it's not the ideal position to short, but momentum is definitely short biased, right? The ideal position to short was up here or even on a rejection of this. So I will be watching this morning into previous day's value area low, which we've rejected twice this morning already, 25,750, and the current weekly developing profile, 25,250. So 250, 750. I'll be watching this area here. Does this hold as resistance in this area here? If the answer is yes, then we can look for downside pressure. We're going to look left. Okay, we want to see, can we get underneath? All right, are we going to get underneath this old level here? All right, so 25. Sorry, we'll just call it 250 to 275. If we reject that, do we start rejecting 170? So there's maybe a 100-point drive here. If we reject 170, we're looking for deeper rotation down. We want to be very careful getting short near the low of day, though. All right, very careful. If we find acceptance back inside this, then I'm expecting a rotation inside yesterday's range. All right, we're going to respect previous day's point of control, 325. And 380. So if we start reclaiming a bid over 300, then we're looking for 320, 380. See if resistance comes in. If not, then maybe a squeeze up to 450s. All right, so both things are possible here. Just remember, if you're getting short, we're just trying to play momentum. We do not have the best structure of the day down here. We are short in deep discount. Remember, we've left, all right, the balanced range that we talked about has been in here for a number of weeks, okay, and we've left it and gapped, which means we've got 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 weeks of buyers now caught above. All right, and all they have to support them is this guy down here where we had that first reaction. If we lose that, it is a good night market. Very simple. Momentum's absolutely downside right now. Absolutely downside. We're leaving trapped buyers above us. It's just about how where price comes and can we get a good price to get short off, really, is what we're thinking about. On a 5-minute, you can see if we just look in here. All right. Asia kind of went sideways and then lost the bid, and then London's really started attacking it. The question is, does this pivot hold here? So if you're desperate to be a bull, you're going to need to see this pivot of 180 hold and a reclaim inside 250, 275. All right, that's what you're going to need if you're a bull. Let's go through the other time frames and have a look at what the ETFs and the ES are doing. Most things will look fairly similar today. ES, exactly the same. All right, leaving this huge balance. Remember, if we zoom out on here, all right, ES did that look above and fail. All right, if it can't catch a bid here, it is good night. It's going to come into these 780s, and if we start really letting go, well, it's got quite a long way down until it hits some form of structure down here into the 6,000s. I mean, it can take weeks and weeks to develop, but I'd be watching 6,000s, 6,450 swing shorts if we start letting go of sort of 780s. All right, if we start letting go of here, but the same structure here, it's a look above and fail, and we just want to see if on a back test, does it stay heavy? If it reclaims, then it's got a chance, but if on a back test it stays heavy, we're going to move lower. That's going to be shown in the ETFs the same way, so you can see that look above and fail, this line that we had in for last week. Big reaction after that. All right, little poke above, and then all we've done is roll over and gap. So we've gapped and trapped above right now. Qs, same story, gapped and trapped above this blue line, which now becomes red. Gapped and trapped above, and this is the next pivot down into 600. So it's really, do we react there or in front of there or not? If we have a look at the Dixie, it's starting to fall off, and that drive back towards the 100 that we talked about. All right, same kind of story. If we look at the VIX, it's very high. All right, here we talked about this, didn't we? We cannot do this forever. This grind up, and it's starting to accelerate. That is a big move. That's a big gap. It's a almost 5 point gap on the VIX. Be watching it into sort of these 21s. If we start to drive through 21s, then especially through 2180, then we're going to come all the way back up to top to test this top level, and you best believe the market will get weak if we start breaking out through that. But you know, let's just see. It's Tuesday morning after a sort of bank holiday. Let's have a look at the mag. Big weakness in Apple. Continues. All right, same kind of story. It's left this gap. If we mark this out, balance range here. All right, we've gapped down and left it. All right, very, very weak. So big sell opportunity. Just have to see if we retest it and how we act when we retest. Oh, I might actually add an alert there. It's just unfortunate it's done such a big move overnight. Same probably story here on Amazon. Yeah, same thing. Waiting to see, do we retest this kind of level up here? You would imagine on a retest we stay heavy unless they're going to force some gigantic squeeze. Same story on Goog, all right, leaving this balance range. It does have a bit more support on Goog compared to the others, but we've definitely left participants above. Trapped. Meta, big old gap down. Get this on an hourly. All right, coming back into where we found a bid before. All right, so the question is, does Meta hold a bid here and start to drive out, or is this going to be a breakdown under 580s and start to see major weakness in the market? It's definitely possible. Cannot rule that out right now. If we're going to go into these big sales Q1 that I've been talking about, this might well be the start of it. Microsoft, same story. You can see the balance range here, and we've left it gapping down, starting to drive away from it. Nvidia failed to reclaim the highs. That's a little bit stronger though. It's just a little bit more in no man's land here. Pivot here, we can get back into. All right, Nvidia's not too bad compared to the others. Tesla, look above and fail. Support system here. So does it hold a bid here? It's tried. This is a double bottom. It's trying to hold a bid there. Is it able to hold it? If we have a look at the broader names, Oracle got sold into on the push over 200. AMD got sold into on the push over 30 so far, but it's holding up pretty well on AMD. And what was the other name moving today? Netflix. I am long at Netflix, but we have earnings coming up later this week. Is it on Wednesday or Thursday? Or is it after the bell today? It's today. Okay, so might get a mover today. I'm very, very small position in Netflix. There is a very good chance they sell it off, the market staying weak. But I think it's due a bounce, but it's we will just see how we operate and act. Let's have a look at the treasuries, which are starting to break out. All right, this is what we were talked about. All of last year, I kept talking about this. If this happens, this market is going to get weak. Well, there we go. This has now happened. All right, we talked about this so many times on stream last year, the importance of this. This is what we're now going to start to see. If these higher, the 30 and 10 start breaking out, you're even seeing it in the 5, but I was expecting to see more divergence there, to be honest, in the 5 and the 2. But yeah, it's not good. It's not good, America. You're in a pickle, mate. You've been in a pickle a while, and it's starting to really play out. Keep threatening everyone, having a tantrum. This is what happens. You just do damage to yourself. Okay. Let's just see what we get here. If we think about the news, what have we got coming up today? Nothing today. When are the big movers this week? Thursday and Friday. All right, Thursday and Friday this week. That's when we're going to get the big movers. Do me a favor, guys. Smash that like button nice and early for me. I obviously want to do some nice giveaways on stream as always. Yeah, market's heavy. Market's been heavy. It's just about what happens next. How are you guys all doing? Did you trade yesterday? Did you have a good day? Did you trade overnight? Maybe some of you caught this fade in London. Hopefully some of you caught it in London. Yeah, I'm back fresh. Yeah, I'm back. Got back live Wednesday last week. Thanks for your patience, everyone. But should be back to normal now, hopefully. Might need the odd day off, but hopefully here most of the time. Past 50k yesterday. Nice work. 500 enjoyed your holiday. No, I think the tariff decision is getting pushed again, from what I understand. Let me have a look. I'm pretty sure it's getting pushed again, or no decision. Yeah, I'm looking for it. I can't see it. I'm pretty sure there was no decision. Or is getting pushed. Where's my Discord? Unclear if court will publish anticipated ruling on the legitimacy of Trump's tariff as US president doubles down on Greenland threats. There you go. So unclear. I mean, maybe we get it, but they've pushed it every day so far, haven't they? We'll just have to see, folks. Okay, bell coming up here. About 20 seconds. Good luck, everyone. I'm going to wait to see. Oh, I'm interested in this. We're trying to reclaim current week value area low already. I'm going to wait to see if we trade back up to these sort of pivots towards sort of 300, 320 and see if they fade it or not there. And if not, then well, we're going to have an inside rotational day. Here we go then, folks. Here's the move up to the sort of 300s and 320s we just talked about. It's the drive, opening drive, big old squeeze. All of the mag opening up red. Coming into these 300s. Want to see, do we get participation here? Do they resell it? So drive into 300s and 320s. Do they resell this is the question. Yep, so far, buyers being trapped into the 300 for sure. We've got this block up here that I'm watching. So just waiting to see if more buyers get stuck here. Still very, very early in the day, but interested in a short here if they start to get stuck up here. If they find acceptance, they're going to drive much, much higher. But so far, we are finding sellers up here. I've joined this short, just a snap short back down. Lovely. Oh my God, going to lock this in towards VWAP. Paying myself a little bit here. Beautiful. Nice start to the day. Nice start to the day. That was very, very quick. So once I saw the buyers getting stuck here, started the short here, back down to here, and we'll see if we find acceptance back under. This is current developing week's value area low. So just want to see, do we find acceptance under there now for a big drive? Beautiful. Let's go, baby. What a nice start to the week. Covering some into this. Buyers turning up at these lows. This is where we just broke out from. Not going to hold too much. If we snap under all of this, then I expect a retest of here, but this was the first play that I was interested in, from the 300s to 320s for a drive back down. That was almost a 100-pointer out the gate. Yeah, I've just got a tiny piece left in case we want to move lower. But yes, we hit my levels very, very quick there, and we're at the opening print of the day, right? So I'm not looking to hold on too long at the opening print of the day. We're still through, you know, all the big institutions have got to get all their orders in the next few minutes. We might see follow through here. We will see. Just got a tiny piece on now. That's a nice winner to start the day. We are holding previous week. Oh, these have not changed, have they? Great. Thanks, Ninja Trader. I'm going to have to hold this. I swapped these, have I? This week. All these look wrong. 700. Okay. My levels are all wrong on Ninja. Let me just sort this out. 2750. Okay, coming back up to these 320s again. These are the big levels out of this now. And that runner, sorry, just trying to sort some of these out now. Where are my previous week levels? 25,700. Sorry, folks. Okay, here's the squeeze. So if they squeeze back through this, the next level to come and test the Chetting previous day point of control will be all the way up here into 400s. So I'm out of this now. Sorry, just give me 1 second to fix these levels. I don't know why Ninja has deleted all of these. So 700, 890. That's the one up top. What are you? 26,000. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, so they held the dip into this key level. So we're finding acceptance now inside the current week value. We're going to drive up and test these 330s now. If we get through that, we're going to test 380s all the way up here. All right, so if you bought the dip there, remember I played the fade, the first attempt here from here to here. If you bought this dip, you're now looking for this for your continuation. And we are now inside previous day and current week value. So we're in a rotational market again. It wasn't just yesterday, though. If you look at the current week and you look at the structure of the week starting 15th of December, that's what we're also looking at. So I'm going to let this just sort itself out. Let's have a quick look at the mag here. Tesla 2.33% down, Nvidia 2.33% down, Microsoft 1.87% down, Meta over 2% down, Google 1.80% down, Amazon 2.51% down, and Apple 0.76% down. Netflix the only one catching a bid here this morning in run up to earnings. We just faded those same levels. We couldn't quite get to this POC from current week. There's a big node up there. All right, I will draw this on. There's a big node from current week up here that we can use as like an over under this red line. Has that NQ been hard to read lately? No, I don't think so. I think it's actually been quite nice. It's actually been playing ball for a change. Let's get some volume on here now. Okay, so you can see they keep getting stuck up here. 250s is a key level today. 250s is a key level today. If we stay inside 250s, then we're going to look to rotate upside. If we lose 250s, there's more downside pressure. It's a big level. Just letting this settle down a bit now after that first short of the day. I don't fully trust it. ES rejecting that same level. There's a really clear pivot between the two VWAPs and just in front of 890 on ES. Really, really clear pivot there. So worth watching. We are above the New York Open though. They are trying to force a squeeze up. Remember, we have gapped down significantly. We've come into some big, big levels all the way dating back to that Monday, the 15th of December. These are straight out the newsletter, all these levels that we're trading around right now. So if you read the newsletter, it should have been in your inbox Saturday morning. We talked about this old naked POC being retested as it's only been tested once. And I think we're going to be in these sort of rotations now, unless we get political weakness come in, then we're going to be in rotations until we get to earnings. And the big question is how do we operate in these earnings really? Next week, all the big tech starts. We have Netflix today and some more banks, but banks earnings haven't been too strong and we have not held the bid well. They're still holding this dip. They're trying to come up into here like we talked about, 380s. They're trying to retest 380s, and if they get through that, what's this up here? 430s, 440s. Asia high up there. Value area high for this current week up here. And if we get through that, gap starts above 475. If they really want to push, they've got to get above 475 to close it all the way to 700. I don't think we're going to see that today. So they're trying to force this squeeze up towards these 380s, 400s. That's what they're trying to do at the moment. ES coming into its VWAP. There we go. Back to these 300s again. Just letting this develop. You can see a bit of a D shape developing here at the moment. I'm just being patient. We had that first trade this morning, made good money on that first trade, that first short when the buyers got stuck. Almost paid us 100 points in the second minute of the day. This one right here, fading back down. Let's see. ES rejecting that clear pivot. We just talked about that big pivot on ES. It's still rejecting it. If they come beneath the New York Open here, they're going to be in trouble. That's what ES is trying to hold right now, is that New York Open. Really nice. Here's the New York Open and value area low on the week. So this is the area we talked about. 50s are going to be the key area today. If we start losing the 50s, you might well see some weakness in the market. It really would not surprise me in the slightest. Yes, we went over the trend before the market opened, ironclad. So hopefully you joined for that. It's also about how many buyers we've left trapped above. Hourly trend is down. Location is not prime on the day to be short at lows, which is why we're trying to fade pops at the moment. I'd really like a retest up here to fade. But if we start snapping, we can think about how we might operate. Heavy market here. ES coming back down into its New York Open. We're at the New York Open right now, into these 50s we just talked about. These are the key level. This is sentiment for day, I would say, in these 50s. So there we go. New York Open, they're trying to find a bid. This is what I'm saying. This, if we zoom out here to give you an idea of what we're looking at. All right, we talked about the importance of the current developing week's value here. And this node here, right? And we keep rejecting up into here, but we are holding current week's value. We're going to have to let go of current week's value if we're really going to look for expansion down. And we have some key levels here. If we look left, right, this is the edge from the December 15th I keep talking about. So we're going to need to find acceptance under there if we're going to move lower. Otherwise, I'm somewhat expecting rotation because we've had a big gap down, all right? If we think about where we closed last week or value last week, we've moved from 700s into, you know, the low 200s today. So we want to be careful. If we're thinking about shorts, you have to understand your location is not ideal, is it? Buyers are trapped at 700 and above. All right, so we're not retesting any key levels yet, even for Friday. And even if we look at the daily, is this on a daily? Oh my God. On a daily, we are at the lower Bollinger Band. Let me get you guys over. All right, on the daily, we're at this lower Bollinger Band. All right, we've got a contracting Bollinger Band. So we're going to need to wait for, if we're really going to get weak, we're going to need some crosses to start happen here. And this to open up, and then this to close down, and the 5-day to give us that hug. All right, so it might take a little bit of time to develop just based on what we've got on dailies at the moment. Unless we see absolute panic, you're probably not going to see, you know, straight downside moves. You keep buying the top and the bottom. Well, at least you know. At least you know your issue. I guess that's your first thing. At least you know what you're doing wrong. So just don't do it. You've identified your issue. You're chasing. That means. Okay. Yeah. Still holding that New York Open. Trying to find a bid here. Like I talked about, that sort of 90s is a big level on ES. 90s is a big level. 24-hour VWAP up there and a clear pivot. Over 90s, you see there a look above and fail, or you're going to see a squeeze back up into sort of the 10s and 15s potentially on ES. All right, so just waiting here patiently now. We didn't see a breakdown under here for me to trade. We're still inside this D shape. We're still inside current week's developing profile, and we're inside previous day's value. Remember, values here and value area high up here. So if they want to rotate previous day, this is their target. We're in a rotational day. I know it's not going to show an inside bar on the daily chart, but we are on an inside bar if you include yesterday's volume. So this is their attempt. They're trying to get up here right now. That's where they would like to go. There's ES stuck into the 90, exactly like I said, tap 90, the VWAP. We got an 89.75 print there. So it's a big pivot on ES like I've talked about. So we're either going to see a rejection here or a look above and fail, or we're going to see a base and hold above for a squeeze. I'm just going to be patient now. VIX is into a pivot as well. Waiting to see if we put a squeeze in or if we're going to fade underneath 250s today. I don't really want to trade the midpoint of this range. All right, here's your current profile on the day. Here's your, where's current week? Current week between here, so in, and your previous day between here. So all very tight in here. All right, this is your range. I'm trying to leave that alone for me personally. You know, I dislike trading ranges. Well, quite right, Josh. Yeah. Let's have a quick look at move. Pass an eval on the first candle. Nice work, D. ES seems to be weaker today. I mean, ES is 1.42 down. NQ is 1.58 down. I think they all look pretty much in line, to be honest. Let me have a look at the breadth of the market. It's probably all pretty reds because we're all gapping down. Yeah, I mean, the breadth is awful outside of energy. All right, so if we come outside of energy, right, pretty much everything getting destroyed. Definitely tech's getting destroyed. Yeah, it's I think many outliers in here right now. This is anchored volume profile. Who asked me that? Though, John, anchored volume profile. Anchored to the 9:30 open. All right, anchored volume profile. Okay, we're right at this previous day value area low again. ES trying to find a bid here again. It's trying to protect its New York open. We're still just in the midpoint of the range. If we start losing the bid here, we might well retest these 40s and 50s. If we lose that, there's probably a trade down to 170s. So that's what I'm waiting to see how we act at each side of the range, trying to leave this middle part out, leave it alone. VIX starting to find a little bit of a bid, I will say that. It's got a gap above, and let's see if it can get into its gap. If it does, you're probably going to see some weakness come in the market, but we will see how it operates. Yes, back to these levels it's found dips at all morning, trying to protect them, but it can't get through those 890s I've talked about. That's absolutely clear. It cannot get through 890. Keep rejecting point of control on retests here. Are we going to get squeezed through it back to the top side, or do they just let go of this whole thing? It's gone to sleep, man. Did no one come back from holiday? It's the drive back down to previous day's value area low, still absorbing here for now, still no change. All right, still inside between blue and red, between blue and current red and red above. And if they're going to come and test, like I said, this is what they want to do. If they want to get an extreme test of value, they're going to go for 450s. This is just not going anywhere. It's just sideways at the moment, and you just require patience. VIX falling now. VIX is not falling. It's found a bit of a bid. All right, so we gap up from VIX. All right, from pre-market, we traded between sort of 1990 and 2075. We opened up. We've caught a bid at 1924. We're now trading at 1970. The New York high is 1975. If we blast through that, we're going to go 20.30. So it's not really falling. It's a big gap up, and so far it's finding a bid. It's going to have to trade under 19 to really start falling to get into a gap fill of 1587. All right, so understand what you're looking at. Okay, testing value area high on the day now. Let's see if they break this out and they can get this squeeze up to here or not. I'm just waiting patiently. How can you get your anchor volume profile to the right? It's just in your settings. Style, placement right. Here we go. So through current value, through previous day point of control. Next target for them is up here, 360 to 380, and then through that 450s and above. That's what they're trying to do. Remember, this is the counter trend leg. Here we go. It's the squeeze. ES again into 490s. So one of two things are going to happen now. Well, one of three things. We're going to get a look above and fail at 890 on ES, or we're going to get a squeeze out all the way, if it can base above, all the way up to the 10s and maybe even the teens on ES, right? Which would bring us up into here, which is a level of interest for me. Still hasn't traded through these 90s yet on ES. You think they're going to get at least a look above and fail, if not more, but at the moment, struggling. Still seeing sellers step in here. I'd really love them to come up here. I think it would give us a much better opportunity today if we do. So ES poked through that 90 by one tick and has not been able to base above yet. So still stuck there on ES. So I'd like a squeeze higher first. 10 a.m. news, yeah, we will see if we get it, because they've already come out this morning saying they're not going to release the document. So let's see, maybe we get it. The other thing is it priced in? If they come out and say it's not legal, then what happens next? You know, some big long court battle. And then the other thing is, how are you going to pay the tariffs back? Who's keeping count of that? Crazy. What a crazy world we're in 2026. So they're trying to flip this into some sort of support level here. This old naked POC and the previous day point POC. We got offers above, offers up into 400. Yeah, you can see it's really struggling at that 890 pivot. Really struggling. 10 points down from it already after taking it out by one tick. It is struggling up there. Back to previous day point control again. Just still rotating and rotating and rotating. If they turn this into bullish structure, they'll go for the squeeze up into here. If we lose it, well, don't do that. I'm going to make this grey for now because it's kind of neutral. It could be bullish, but let's just observe it. If we lose it, then I'm going to rotate right back down to the edge of value again. So we're bearish overall, but we're rotational based on current day's volume, current week's volume, previous day's volume. Peter, there's a gap to 22. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to do it today. I actually see a spike up there from in a New York session, so I think that I don't see the gap as still open. So I don't know. Maybe you can send me a picture in Discord or something of what you're seeing. I don't have it on TradingView. Maybe you have it on Thinkorswim or something. I don't know what you're using. Okay, VIX trying to get going now through these high of days. If they get through high of days, then it will try and get all the way back up to 20.30 like we talked about. So, and they're trying to flip this old naked point of control and the previous day point of control. They're trying to flip this for a squeeze up. Yes, weak though. Selling out 360, just sat there, passive seller, looking to get filled up there. Is there much above him? Yes, still stuff above him. Maybe we'll wait 4 minutes for this new hour. You've got a gap, have you? All right, I'll double check that. Just in this grindy channel at the moment. Starting to lose some bids here. Right back down into this key level. Passive buyer now at 290s. If they flush this, they can go right down to 250s. Or definitely value on the day 280s. Let's see if they protect that, I guess, first. Hey, Scott. I'm good, mate. Just one trade to start the day. First test of the supply here. So this has faded this back down into this. That's all I've done so far. Now just waiting. Let them build out some volume and liquidity for the next move. All right, I'm going to refill this tea. We've got like 2 minutes until 10 a.m. I'll be right back. We're definitely not uptrending. Unless you're talking about this New York, maybe you're just talking about the New York Open. Yeah, in New York Open, yeah, we're doing this. But if you zoom out, you understand that we are most certainly starting to break away from some key levels. Right, so this is, if this is the uptrend, then it's a higher time frame pullback, isn't it? If we've left, if we think about this, all right, we're pulling back. How we operate here is going to be important. Watch your volatility here, folks. So we're starting to see spikes in volatility. We're up towards 50 points per M1 candle at the moment. Just be careful. You do not want to oversize in this. If you get caught the wrong side, it will hurt you. Nice, Rob. Nice, nice. So they're trying to use this as support now and trying to expand. These are the levels they'll be looking at: 380, 395, sort of 400s, anywhere up here, and then a squeeze will be all the way up to previous day value of 450 and above. All right, so those who've been buying bids, they'll be offloading into each of these pushes, and if they get really lucky, they'll offload into here, I would have thought. Every push up here is getting sold into, as you can see. Back down to this same level again. It's 10 a.m. and we're starting to see the sell follow through. Aggressive seller stepping on the tape here. There's a passive seller up here at 360. He's offering 360. Still hasn't been filled up there yet. He was filled a bit and he's come back on the tape. So he's got another 100 lot up there. ES relative weakness nowhere near that pivot of 890. Seller trying to step on a tape and force this lower at this point. We're right at point of control on the day at 310s. Do they rebid this or do they let it go for a swipe? They're letting it go. It's 10s again. We might get some weakness here if they really start to step on this tape. Because overall, we're bearish, remember. Back to trend again. Back to VWAP. Messy, messy, messy. So we can't find acceptance over 340. We can't find acceptance under 277 right now. This is our range, this D-shaped profile. I'm just trying to wait to see if we find acceptance outside of either side of it. ES right down to its New York Open again. So relative weakness there. ES is right down here right now, having failed that 890 push that we talked about. Big levels here. We're starting to reject. Here's value back to these 80s again. Finding a bid on edge of value again. So this is still in a rotation until we expand value. Remember, we're still above the New York Open. We're still in a rotation until we expand value. The seller's still not walked down. He's still just sat there at 360s. Still inside right now. Edge of val, VWAP, previous day val. Are we going to expand underneath these? Or do we go back in a rotation, back to top side again? Yes, it's New York Open. They're starting to bid a bit lower here. Still holding value for now. I wonder if there's expansion coming under these. I feel like if they start losing the bid here, they're going to be in big trouble, but can't be early here. Back to VWAP and POC. There we go, back to VWAP and POC. Rotate, 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 rotate. These are the markets I don't enjoy. 300s again. Yeah, they're just stacking both sides. No one knows what to do here at the moment. Both sides stacked. No acceptance outside of the current value on the day. You can see the rotation is just 280 or 275 to 340. We're not finding any move outside of that yet. Nothing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Just worth waiting. If we move outside of that, we can think about attacking it, but we're just not seeing it. VIX is into that gap, starting to try and fill. All right, so through that New York Open high, it's trying to fill that gap up to sort of 2030s at the moment. Still seeing absorption on VWAP and value area low on the day. There we go. So just absorbed again, just drove back through 300 again. Buyers trying to be aggressively coming in here. Big buying coming in here. Is that guy still at 60s? Yes, he is. Daily view up is right where we are now. Everything's stacked. Everything's stacked. So your New York view up, your daily view up, your point of control are all at 300, right? Everything's just stacked there. to where we are now. Oh my God. Should we go back to bed, folks? What is this? Thank God we got that first trade of the day, because there's nothing to do since. This is just terrible. No follow through either direction. And back to value. Come on. Big seller trying to step in here. He's trying to get down to 60s at the moment. You can see his bid down there for a cover. Here comes the news. It feels like the news anyway. It's getting washy. There's some covers down at 60s. That looks like where he's trying to get to at the moment. This feels washy. They're pulling bids. Still holding inside of value area low on the day. Still no movement. Big buyer trying to step in here and absorb. If he loses, we're going to wash hard. He just came in with 100 lot. They're trying to get to these 60s. You can see it on the tape. Here's 80s. They're trying to get to 60s right now. And if they lose 60s, I wouldn't be surprised of a big wash. Into VWAP, into value area low. If they lose 60s and 70s, I would not be surprised of a very big wash here. These are where they keep rebidding and rebidding and rebidding over and over again. So if he gets stuck, that's where we'll see the pain. I'm not going to do anything early. We have to move outside of this and prove that he's stuck. They're bidding 75 to 60 again. Here we go. They're going to fill him all the way down to 75 and 60s. Here's 75. Do they wash down to 60s now? They're trying to. They're adding more lower. Big seller coming in here. Here's the wash we just talked about. Right, question is now, do we stay heavy? All right, the question is now, do we stay heavy? Do they stay aggressive here and they start to rinse this down, or are they just going to instantly reclaim? This is the key thing now. ES under its New York Open. We're not even near it yet. Heavy on rejection so far. Is there follow through? They're still trying to bid. It's amazing. There's relentless bid down here. They're going to get taken out, I think. Now bidding all the way down to 40s. What a mess. What are you lot doing today? No, look at the stacking there all the way down to 35s now. We're going to wash. Surely you're going to wash and fill them. Big buyer stepping in, being very aggressive. I don't know what he's playing at. Psychopath move here. They keep rebidding here. 65s. I don't trust it that it holds this, but they keep rebidding it. It's worth noting. They're rebidding value over and over and over and over and over again. And again. He's stepping in again. Relative weakness, ES. They keep bidding here. I don't trust this one bit. I really don't trust this. There's been so much bid down here, but they're trying to get this break above. I don't think they're going to get it. But you never know. They're trying to get back inside value. ES weakness. Back down to its New York low. What are these guys doing? VIX's not quite filled the gap yet. See if it holds 20 here on a bid. If it does, then it can have a little push back up and add more weakness into this market. Supreme Court does not issue the ruling in changing to legality of Trump's global tariffs. Exactly what we heard pre-market. So they kicked it down the road again. It's a joke, mate. This country's a joke when it comes to news. cut the books and don't do what you say you're going to do. Relentless bid here. Edge of value. Do we get expansion down here is what I'm wondering right now. But it's relentless bid here. It is literally relentless, joining in at 70s and 60s. There's the bid. Up to 300s again. It is relentless. It's amazing. This guy is just unloading bids down here. Right, ES back into New York open. Market back into point of control. We're back inside value. So the edge of value now 330 top side. So if they get a re-squeeze, that's where they're going to go. If they reject point of control, then we're going to come and retest this. And if they snap it, having trapped buyers, then they've got a chance. But it just looks a little messy for my liking right now. I'm going to be honest, folks. I don't think they know what they want to do with this at the moment. Yes, no ruling on tariffs. Like we said pre-market, they suggested that would be the case. And it was the case. No ruling on it. They're going to keep kicking it down the road. This is what they do. And then they're going to do it when no one expects it. And by that point, it's probably priced in anyway. It's just the way it is. Right, ES so far rejecting that New York Open. This is a really, really ugly day so far. Very, very ugly. Not much to do here, folks. We had that one trade this morning. If we start leaving value, we can think about trading lower. If we start leading value upside, we can think about the squeeze up and then a fade higher. I just do not want to bother in here. Look what we're doing in here. Absolutely nothing. Do you want to trade this? You really want to trade this? There's nothing to do in here. Not for me anyway. Maybe if you like trading edge to edge, maybe that's your bread and butter. Back down to VWAP again. I've got a 24-hour VWAP on my screen just under here. I don't know why there's quite a big discrepancy there between the two, but we will see. Back down to value area low again. Are they going to see follow through for this little bear flag and snap, or do they catch it? Just everything's flat. Look at EMA's VWAP. Everything's flat right now. We need to see some of these open up either direction to have a potential trade day here. I'm somewhat surprised we haven't come and filled these guys at 60s and 45s yet, but this is where this guy keeps bidding all the time. Non-stop bid. Non-stop bid trying to gobble it up. Wow. If this breaks, it's going to be so nasty. Non-stop bid again. There you go. Gobbled it again. ES back through that New York Open. Sellers trying to step in now. They know they need a break under and this guy's fucked. Here it goes. They're trying. Back to value area low on the day. Can they get follow through down to these 40s and 60s that we've talked about numerous times now? Bid stepping in again here at 70. It's incredible. This guy's like got endless money, right? If they hold 70s now, they're going to be in trouble because these sellers are trying very aggressively here. 70s again. This guy passively just got absorbed here again. Is there follow through now? They're trying 70, 70, 70, 70. They're looking for 70 snap to get down to 60 and 50. This guy stepped on the book twice now. Still absorbing. My gosh, this guy's got endless capital. Endless capital. All right, 70 snap will lead you to sort of 60s, 50s, and 45s. But there is a buyer just absorbing absolutely everything here that he can. It's a really big battle here. Look at that 70 hold. Wow. Man, I'm not messing with these guys. They are too big for me. I would love it to trade down into here and then see weakness, but there's just a guy in here just non-stop. He's just bid. Let me have it all. Is any of this retail? I doubt this is retail buying this amount non-stop. No, this won't be retail. Here comes the 70s again. They're trying to get this snap of 70s. They're desperate to get this snap of 70s, these sellers. Someone is saying no. I'm telling you. There is a guy on the tape saying you're not going down. And there you go. Look at that. Straight back up. Right. If they hold 80s now, then they've got a shot at a squeeze out, to be honest. There you go. They just held 80s. Yeah, this is... I'm not touching this. This is... This is mental. I'll touch it when I see momentum clear one side and one side stuck. All I know right now is there is a guy trying to absorb it. I think we want to move lower, but he is relentless. Okay, back down to these 60s. Do we see follow through now? Just stuck at previous day value area low and current day value area low. If we see follow through, you're going to see it down to this New York Open. And then really the fun and games can start underneath that. So they are now trying to get down to these 45s. If they reject 70s and 80s here, there's a chance for follow through downside, but it's a big if based on what I've seen so far. If they reject this value, there's a chance for this wash and rotation. But I'd say it's a big if. Not sure I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Look, they're restacking now. 60s, 55s, 50s, 45s. There they go. Just hanging around these 70s, same level that this buy's been up all day. Well, I say all day, for the last, I don't know, 20 minutes. If he gets stuck, though, it will get very aggressive. I tell you that much, because it's been non-stop here. They're bidding at 35 now, so let's see if they stay heavy versus these 70s and 80s. If they do, there's a wash. Maybe we can get these flow zones to like come and trend and do something rather than just be sideways all day. Here's the attempt back into 70s and 80s that they're trying. Over 300 they have a squeeze. This is the attempt back into value, back into VWAP, back into this same level we've talked about, where we just had a little imbalance here. ES right at that New York Open. We're just so stuck here, folks. So we're failing that so far on that first attempt. Still not closed this candle, but back into value if they don't reject this. So sellers will want to reject here. If they can't reject here, they're going to get squeezed out right to the 300s again. And they haven't done a very good job. Yeah, this is a leave alone for me. Let these guys piss about with it. Let them piss about with it. They don't know what they want to do, so they can just piss about with it. There's the squeeze up to the 300 we just talked about. Over 300, we can come right back up to the 320. I mean, it's just ridiculous what's going on here. This is just like huge battle over a level and then a straight move up, and then we'll lack structure again probably. Look at this bid. Look at this bid. Holy shit. This guy's just absolutely gobbled everything from 60s and 70s and is now non-stop trying to bid up to the 360. Oh my gosh. Well, they're going to have to get through this level, find acceptance above 325s now, which is what they've just tried to do on that last dip. And if they do, they're going to try and complete the move all the way to 400s. I mean, we lack structure now on this straight move upside. I don't know what to tell you, folks. We're inside a rotation. They're holding it. They are holding this. Non-stop bid. I told you, down there was non-stop bid. Well, I don't touch it with one side's just being like that. When we can't break down and there's a guy just like buy. Like, I can't tell you like how much he bought down here. It was ridiculous. He just bought absolutely everything, non-stop, and then he chased it all the way up. I can show you it. Non-stop buying down here. Every time it came down here, he was relentless, and then just chased this huge squeeze up. Okay, so ES back to these 890s now. If they get through the 890s, there's a squeeze. Otherwise, this is the edge again. $890s key on ES that we talked about. Can ES hold a bid over it or not? And delete this. Let me. There we go. Yeah, just nothing to do here, folks, really. Unfortunately, it's a bit messy. Maybe some of you want to bid, try and force this squeeze out. I mean, I'd be watching for ES to hold the 890s and find acceptance. I guess it's trying. Just remember, we lack structure under here. You want to be very careful. There's a seller at 360s. Over this, maybe we can start squeezing. And targets would be up here. 70s and 90s, and then through that right up into 450s again. ES now going through that 90 level nicely. Can it hold a pullback there? That's the key. You don't want to look above and fail. Can ES hold a pullback? Looks like it actually has held a little pullback there. Seller at 60s again. Through here we can go, yeah, definitely 80s and maybe 400s. I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in how they're setting this up right now. I'm looking at a daily and an hourly and just like, it doesn't look very good. Yes, trying to get going over those 90s, trying to force this squeeze up. It is trying. Into these 60s we go. So there's a seller here, stacked up to 75. He's just sat on the book, selling everything that comes his way. We can't get through him. Fix right back down to low of day. Into this opening range high, failing at this opening range high. Buyers are stuck above this opening range high right now. You have delta above it into 60s caught. We had a passive seller there that we talked about all morning long. So buyers really need to get back above that. If they don't, we're going to go back into this rotation again. We have got a seller up at 400 though. So 60 is the key level. ES looks really strong here. It's just, can NQ get back above this outline delta into sort of 60? If it gets back above there, then maybe we go 80s, 86s and 400s is on deck, but we will have to see. At the moment, it's struggling every push. CVD looks awful, by the way. It's just like barcoding. Okay, testing these 60s again. ES really starting to get going. It's going to come into these 900s soon, so you've got to imagine that whole number might be a level for ES. Into this trap buyer again, and still no acceptance above the 60s. Above 60s, there is a squeeze out possible. And they keep offering here into 75s, all the way up into 75s, which is the edge of today. What a boring day. What a shame. Or at least we had a really nice trade to start the day. Yes, someone's front running that 6,900 in ES. Be aware of that whole number. Lower day VIX. Telling these 60s are big levels here. They've got to get back above and base above this if buyers want a shot of getting up to these 400s. They are trying. They cannot do it. Initial balance now set as well, folks. So you can think about an IB rotation day, which might fit the profile, especially if we look above and fail. Here they go, trying to get to that IB high of the 70s, failed again, couldn't even take out high of day, so weak. Protecting that IB high. Did ES take it out? I think it might have taken it by a tick, or it just printed it. Somewhat surprised there isn't like one more squeeze up leg here for them to sell into. Maybe they're going to try now. This is like the market the last few weeks. compression, rip, compression. Can they come and do a pop, and then do they fade that straight back down? Okay, taking out, that's the squeeze up we just talked about. Take out these stops. 400 is really the next level, 380s and 400. Oh, what's this here? Edge of value. You can watch ES here into that 900 we just talked about. Buyers just got caught higher day there on NQ for sure. There's still someone trying to sell up at 400. This is ugly, mate. It's ugly. All right, how are we doing on stream? Let's get these likes up. 650 of you watching and only 200 likes. Come on, folks. I want to do some giveaways. Let's get this up to 400 likes, please. Okay, here's the squeeze. So PDC will be into these 400s. ES now into the 900s, that whole number. And we can think about whether we go IB, initial balance, look above and fail, or if we're going to hold and try and actually come all the way up into here. Both of these are possible right now. QQQ coming up to 50 day. And a big pivot. It's trying to get up into this pivot, 615, 616, QQQ. Does it have the juice? Let's measure from that gap. Hang on, give me a second. Coming right into 50% off the gap, actually, on the Qs, on the ETFs. So might find some, might struggle a little bit up here. Let's see how we act at IB. Rejecting previous day value. Is that wrong? Hang on. I'm gonna have to measure this out. Have I done that wrong? That's way off, mate. What is that? Yeah, it was wrong. I must have moved it. Okay, good to know. All right, into previous day value area high here. That's what I was just checking. Sorry, folks. Just looked different to Ninja, and it was wrong. Okay, so previous day close up here into 400. ES trying to find acceptance over 900 right now. There's lots of buying activity coming in up here. They might well get trapped soon. We can think about an IB failure. All right, if we do a look above, all right, into previous day's value, into the 400, and we start failing, we can think about that rotation back down. It's very, very possible. So here's IB. Do they set this up for us? So if we take the IB trade today, we're going to have to be careful with a few levels. So value area high into those 350s. The buyers that got trapped at 360, so, or they're not trapped. They could have been trapped. They weren't. So we need to trade back under 360 really for us to really have continuation follow through. Downside, that is. Right. At the moment, we're holding IB. They're still printing IB and holding. Same on ES. It's absorbing IB. But I'll consider the fade if we do something like this. And otherwise, we're probably going to squeeze all the way up into here if we can't do that. Holding IB for now. We're right at the daily Bollinger low as well. Maybe a tiny little bit more room for the QQQ if it really wants to come and back test. What was that pivot? 1455 to 16s. The only thing I'm aware of is the cash market. If we're going to really want to back test this level here, if I zoom out to like 15 minutes, make it easy for you to see right here. This is also the 50-day, right? But if we look at this, this is the gap. This is 50% retrace, right? From the gap to the low, we're right into it. So we're coming into a level of interest. Here we go, starting to see that fade. Watching these 60s now. That's where the big buyer came in at 60s. And he's rebid there again, folks. He just rebid there again. I'm saying I'm going to wait for 60s because this is where, remember the big buyer that was in here and we said we had the outlying delta? He's just rebid there again. So twice. So he bid there at 1027 and he just bid there again on that last flush down. Exactly the same level. Fucking hell, he's not done, eh? He's got balls of steel just bidding this market non-stop. What's our IB range today? I don't feel very big. It's all right, 190. It's actually quite good. Bigger than I thought. Just not moving. I've got to wait for them to create some volume and leave it. Buyer again. Absolutely fucking relentless bid. I am somewhat surprised he's got that bigger bollocks. Thank you. Seller up here at 400 and then 420s, which is kind of a nothing area. What's this? Previous week low. Okay. the start of the pivot then. Okay, so 420s, they're going to try and go to previous week low then. Plunge protection team, yeah. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Okay, into sort of the edge of current week's value as well. So here to 420 is the next key level. And then up there, this is like supply untested, really. We're coming to the edge, like, well, we are in past the edge of the last 2 days balance. So previous week low, about to be tagged here, this green line on your screen. High time frame algo above, Globex above that. Where's the outlier? 400 is the first outlier, so let's see if they rebid this 400. And then it's still the 60s, right? Still the 60s. There's a big shelf down there now, this level here. So we're bullish all the time we're holding this in the short term, that is. And delete this now as well. We've traded through it. So this is the level here where that big buyer came in. That's the previous day value area high. Trying to rebid this at the moment. I don't think this lasts forever. I don't think they can just keep bidding and bidding and bidding and bidding and bidding. I think he's probably bidding to get his exit. It's just, where's his exit? Is it previous week low? Is it up in this like untested supply? They have to hold the grey box. Yeah, they have to hold grey box. The buyers. Just trying to be patient, wait for something to stand out to me. They definitely trapped buyers at 400 so far, but the structure's still bullish. Vic's trying to catch a little bit of a bid at 1875. No man's land though. No man's land. Next pivot now is 1925 for a back test on VIX. Right, in this previous day value area high right now. If we don't find acceptance in that, then we're going to rotate previous day's value again. Here we go. So do we come back down towards IB and 60? They're still bidding above previous day's value. See if they build out a node here and then leave it. Then we might have a trade back inside the range if we're lucky. If we're very lucky. Yeah, still holding initial balance. We kind of need some of these to start seeing some weakness. Here we go. Back to the IB, back to the 70s. The big seller trying to force this market down into 60. He wants to retest that level I've talked about a few times. That's that level 61. Yes, still holding initial balance. Need to get under this level, right? If we leave this trapped, if we build enough volume up here, and we trade under this, this is possible. Not until then. Trying to get down there. Yes, still absorbing. Lots of bids down here. 75 to 55 stacked up. That's the same. It's the same level. It's basically the grey box that I'm looking at. Same level. We need to get if we're going to stay heavy, we've got to go under that and see a look above and fail, basically, of the IB, a look above previous day close and fail. ES still absorbing for now. Here comes a big seller. Big seller. All right, here's the 60 test. This is what we're looking for. Now, do we stay heavy now? Do we see absorption, or are we going to see a snap trade? They've got to resell 60s now. 60 to 70s, they've got to resell for me to really like this. It's a retest of this same level. So 60 to 70s. What is this guy? Well, they started selling at 75. All right, so they've got to stay heavy at 75. And if they do, I'll look for a join. They are starting to sell this more. Here's value area low, value area high, sorry, on the day. So already starting to see that. Can we see further rotation under it, or are they going to try and increase value? The 75 is the trigger point. You do not want this back over 75, really. There is an imbalance up to 77.50s. But the big seller stepped in at 75. You want him to remain in control for this rotation now. Bid at 50 and 40. Let's see if we can trade through these. I want to trade under 46s here. If we go sideways for too long, I'm going to lose interest very quickly. I need sellers to step in aggressively now. They've done the work. We've trapped the buyers aggressively now. Aggressive, please. Come on, baby. We can watch previous day point of control at 30s as a first cover point all the way down into VWAPs if we can. Go away, Mr. Buyer. Fuck off. Here we come. Come on. Get him out the way. Don't let him rebid this, please. Oh, come on, institutions. Step on the tape. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Need to see it soon. I don't want to go sideways too long here, or we'll get relief to 70s very, very quickly. Step on the tape, please. Step on the tape. Here you come. Step on it now. Step on it. Thank you. More. More. Come on, let's go 30s. Come on, come on. Jesus Christ, guys. Come on, please. Making my life harder than it needs to be today. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, looking for a 30s cover and then VWAP. Really nice. Don't want to reclaim with this now. We've done all the hard work, so you can trim some on the way down. This is what we just talked about. Leaving this, trading under this, rejection, and we're looking for this ultimately. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Jesus Christ. Let's get me my VWAP trade. IB to VWAP. Let's get it. The Tyson trade. Come on. Let's go. Fuck yeah. Man, that required so much patience. It's insane. All right, you can cover some here into previous day point of control and the VWAPs. These are our cover points for the shorts, and you can hold runners all the way down to value area low. Let's go, baby. Undefeated. Unfucking defeated that trade, I'm telling you. Beautiful. There's your cover point. Really nice team. Really, really nice. W's in chat if you got that. Oh, it was not easy. I got my entry in this little guy here, 1048. You can hold runners if they get very weak because we lack structure in this candle here. We lack structure. All right. So if we get underneath this and stay heavy, there's a very good chance we come all the way down to the low. But you must cover the majority of your position here. Nice work, team. Yeah, love it. Absolutely. There you go. There's Tyson. Nailed it. It's the Tyson trade. Nice work, folks. Look at all you guys with some nice winners here. Really nice. Really, really nice. Great work. Had no idea I entered. I mean, I think I called out what I was looking for quite a long time. We talked about the VWAP trade. We talked about trapping buyers above the 400. I told you numerous times buyers have got caught above 400. I told you I will get heavy if we come under here and we stay heavy at 60 because that's where the big buyer came in. All right, he came in here and here, and once he becomes my point that I can get heavy against, I get heavy and the cover is here. We talked about it. I literally drew it out for you. I told you I'll be looking for buyers to be trapped above here, and I drew this out for you. Rewind it. I literally drew that out for you. That exact thing. When we were up here, I drew that out for you. I told you what I'd be looking for. So now the question is, do we refade this again? This right here is a retest. All right, this right here, this guy. All right, if we look at here, this guy right here gets stuck. All right, big sell, there's your retest, there's your flush. All right, the buyers came in here at 60s, 65s to 70s. They came in and got stuck. We're going to come and revisit. There's an imbalance here up to 76. So now you're seeing, does this stay heavy? All right. Do we protect this level for further downside is the question now. No, it's all right, Breezy. Like, it's not that you're tripping. I'm just saying, like, we're not always going to get perfect structure. Remember, the market isn't always perfect. So, like, this move here, see this wick? That's your retest. It's not always going to be like a 2-3 bar build out, which would be lovely. Don't get me wrong. It would have been better if we did that. But we don't always get that, especially when one side's caught. Remember, above 400, if I can show you. Right, this guy here got caught. This is Delta. This buy side Delta got caught, and this is the guy I traded against. Remember, 100 lot, and I said he's caught at 60s. This is his pain. So the moment we failed to reclaim that, he remained stuck. So it means him and the big player at 400 are all stuck. So we use their pain to move downside. Yeah. It's not always like, unfortunately, with trading, it's not always going to be picture perfect. We're not always going to get like a retest like this. Like this is. Like if this had reached up into here, like is the perfect retest. We're not always going to get that. Sometimes we will, sometimes we get lucky, but we won't always get it. No, you're good. You're good. Okay, still holding runners here. Maybe break lower under view up. We will see. Nice rejection here. I wouldn't want to see it like again. You don't want to see it reclaim anything up here. You do not want to see it reclaim anything up that top side. You want to see heaviness stay in the market for runners here. He's trying to break down here. He's desperately trying to get under these VWAPs. ES into a key pivot level here as well, rejecting 90 at the moment. So rejected over 900s. There's no close above the IB since we've rejected. We're coming back down to VWAP. It's got New York VWAP left. Heavy market for these runners. You never know. We might get a full rotation if we get very, very lucky, but This here, remember, is key. We talked about it. This guy right here, this is where the imbalance came in. Right. Question is, can we fill some of this downside now? Looks great for our runners here, guys. We very well might go back down to value area low on the day if we get very, very lucky here. Would be nice. Just manage your position. You should be short from up here somewhere. Maybe some of you added here. You should be short from somewhere up here. So just manage this position and let's see if we can go lower. Where did this guy rebid earlier? 87-ish. So I'd like to trade back into sort of 90s if possible, where he started bidding earlier. 90s would be good. For a next cover point, 90s down to, yeah, 80s. It would be nice. Under there, we'll see very, very like strong weakness if we can get under those. Is it an A+ setup? No, probably not. It's a decent setup, but it's not an A+. Mainly because of the daily. There's a chance for more downside here. But they might need to come and revisit these 70s first, but we will see. VIX trying to find a bid. Coming up for that pivot that we talked about, that 1925 point on VIX. So you want to see VIX reclaim that really if we're going to stay short in this. Don't want VIX to come up and reject this pivot. So here's the squeeze, and they're probably going to retest some of this now that we just talked about. Here we go. So retesting those levels we just talked about. ES holding its pivot as well. So this grey box becomes absolutely key now. And the 60s again, right? The 60s are where those buyers came in. So this is going to be key. Because do they become sellers? This is the first retest to see if they become sellers. If they don't become sellers and we reclaim IB, you do not want to touch this. So you've probably taken all your profits now. I'm just waiting to see if I should consider a re-entry here or not. Again, this buyer, look at this relentless bid. It's actually quite insane that we're getting these huge candles up and drip downs. So IB being retested here. Still holding the 60s. He's just rebid 60s. This is a dangerous tape today. He's going to play games like this. He's still rebidding 60s and 70s. Wild. Wild. So he's still comfortable right now. So the next level's 400 really. So I'm not touching this right now. We're going to have to close under some pain points for him, and we're not doing that. We are definitely not doing that. And VIX just rejected that pivot. Fuck me. What a mess. 400 we go then. Well, this is ridiculous. I'm not trading this. No chance. Too many games going on here today. We have had like 2 nice trades. There's no way I'm going to play this guy's game. He's relentless bid on the key levels and gets a squeeze and then no one shows up again. So I'm not going to fight him. He's way too big for me to play. Well, I'm not going to play upside, and I'm not going to fight him. So I'm just going to leave it. Best way I can put it. Look at that. Fucking insane, mate. 400 test. Was the pain point, remember? And now they're now back over this 400 again. Absolutely insane. In a quiet, dull market, he's just ripped it 100 points by himself. It's also like news dropping, like Lutnick. The US trade deals with Europe are durable. They're not durable if you're going to keep threatening them, mate. Like, this is what makes me laugh about news. You've just had your president threaten UK non-stop for like 3 or 4 days. Okay, so couldn't hold over 400. Probably new shelf being developed here now. And just move this up. This is messy, man. This is so messy. I'm leaving this alone now, folks, until something drastically changes. Back to IB, back to these 60s again. Honestly, it's like straight up, straight down. It's absolutely insane. Probably moving off the news more than anything. Off silly comments. Okay, if they rebid IB, there is a chance to complete the rotation up here for sure. But I'm not going to play it. I'm going to be honest with you. It's too risky for me right now how we're operating. This is the same kind of level we bid at earlier. He was actually a bit lower earlier. He was more like 60s. But you can see he's here again. He keeps bidding 70s, 75s. Has he got his exit? That's the question. I don't think that was an exit. Rebidding again. It's absolute relentless. We were supposed to go down because it break grey box. It failed due to Ricky Rich playing around. But was the model right? No, the model was here. This was the model. We waited to see if there was a retest to add. He squeezed it up, so we don't add. Now, if he wants to hold this and complete rotation, he will. I'm not going to really try and refade this. When we're back above IB, we've built liquidity, and there's a chance to complete rotation. They needed, if I was going to add more size on, I would have needed to see a rejection here, which we haven't seen. And the thing is now, he's come firing in here and firing in here with massive size. So I don't feel comfortable trading in here now in this slope. So I'm just going to leave it alone. It's a messy day. The thing is with everyone that like looks for models, like a model just based on levels, you got to understand the environment as well. ES back down to VWAP again, back into this pivot. We're within the frame, but there's a big difference between this, right, and this. That's a very big difference where we're holding. You have to understand the nuance of this. These guys are now not trapped, so we can't play against them. Right? Do you understand liquidity? These guys is what we use to break down. Did they become sellers? No. We're back inside their range. So they can now re-squeeze, which is why I'm now not interested in the market. We did not show any ability to trade down from there. We are not using their pain to move lower right now. We're adding liquidity in the same level. So I need to wait now to see what they want to do, because it's very, very possible they do this if they want. Yes, Breezy, 360. Yes, potentially for the squeeze. This is exactly what we're seeing now. As we always said, if they hold IB, they can do this inverse head and shoulder look, and they can try and complete rotation. That's why I'm not interested in the short side right now. Weekly gap. We'd have to trade all the way up to, 700s. It's asking a lot, JD, but in this market, who knows? Or do you mean the edge of the weekly gap? Like, so 475 to 700 is basically the weekly gap, the actual gap. Who knows, JD? Yes, it's definitely possible. This market will do whatever it wants to do. Just requires patience today, guys. Like, I don't want to trade this upside. I don't know, maybe I'm being stubborn, but I'm not. I just don't want to get stuck in it. It would be the counter trend relief trade. I'm just trying to avoid that. US wants to colonize UK. Aren't you just us? It's just, the whole thing's fucking ridiculous what's going on right now. I can't believe anyone's okay with it. I'm telling Europe to react to UK at the moment. Like, Europe doesn't like you, mate. You've pissed them off non-stop. Like, it's mental. Absolutely mental. Okay, so they're trying to do this inverse head and shoulders we just talked about. And 420 would be the next target. It's relentless bid, man. It's relentless bid. Here we go. Bid, 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 bid. Here we go. There's the 420. So that's previous sweet low now. And then the pivot. We're into that big old pivot now. I'd say all the way up to sort of 515-ish. So into this red block. And then you just have to see what it wants to do. It's kind of wild. I'm impressed. I'm impressed by it. Let's put it that way. I'm impressed by this bid on the tape this morning. Divergence here to ES VIX at low of day. And I just think Qs is very close. So we talked about Qs coming into 1450s. or 14, so 15s even. It's just hit 15s. We've got the 50-day at 16. So we've got like a dollar range there on the ETF where I think there is a chance we will see failure. If it squeezes through that, it's going to be a giant squeeze. This is the same kind of level as here. We're looking at the same kind of thing here, really, folks. Black Tuesday. No, it's just another Tuesday. I mean, they're calling it what? Because we were gapping down. I mean, Ed, you'll understand it. Like things that sell the most, as in when I say sell, create news the most, are extreme views, right? So like the market's dead, it's the end of the world, is like going to cause an extreme view. So people love to put names on stuff. You just trade what's in front of you. Forget all the hyperbole and hysteria. Just trade what's in front of you. All right, previous week low here, acting as some form of resistance for now. There's still offers above into 440s. They've rebid this and just forced the extension. We are technically bullish over all these levels at the moment. You want to be very careful thinking about fade here. So I said I'm going to leave it alone. The moment it didn't react to this says to me, okay, if we're not going to respect this volume, if we've traded away and we've caught this first trade, we've covered most into here, waited to see if there was an ad opportunity, we traded straight through it, cut the rest, then we've rebid this same level. Now we're expanding higher. It's just going to keep doing this until they've got their exit. I don't know what their exit is, folks. Maybe it is previous week low. Maybe it's Globex. Maybe it's into this bid. What's this? Is that Friday's low? That's Friday's low. Maybe it's all the way up there. We're certainly not bullish overall. Okay, this is what you have to understand, the different time frames. Back to these 400s. We're not talking about Greenland being in Europe. Who's saying Greenland's Europe? No one said Greenland's Europe. I'm talking about his comments today to the UK about UK territory. I'm not talking about Greenland. All right, previous day value area high and flow zones are down here. See if they're going to rebid these same levels, 60s kind of, and 80s, or if they're going to let it go. If they've got their exit now, you've got divergence to ES for sure. QQQ definitely reacting off that pivot, which is Wednesday's lows. That's supply from Wednesday. Okay, previous day value area high. So this rotation again to this grey box. Do they rebid this or not? If you lose this grey box, then I guess we have the same trade set up as earlier. Consider it. I could consider it, I guess. It's just it's very messy how they've set it up, though. If they lose this, I'll consider the rotation underneath, not in front of. They would have to lose this again. I would need to see this, right? And I need to see trap buyers come in here. So I need to see this move here for me to be interested at this point. Otherwise, I'm not interested. We are rejecting the developing value, which is 407s. So I just keep looking at the hourly thinking this looks not very good for upside. But it just depends if they want to squeeze over it or not. Okay, here back to the 80s we go. And do we rotate underneath this grey box or not? This is what we keep talking about over and over and over again. All right, so my eyes are firmly in here right now. Right, I'm looking at this pivot, which we've come into on QQQ, on the ETF, right? We're rejecting this. I'm watching value for this week. We've had no acceptance below, so we've come back to the top side, but we're not finding acceptance above. So the question is, do we then rotate back down again? Rotation, okay? Rotational market. My least favorite market, but it's what we've got. So still holding grey box. Still no trigger for me. All right, first bathroom break of the day coming up. I'd like to do some giveaways. We're almost time to do giveaways. Smash that like button. Okay. Still building out here. Big shelf being built out here now. Lots of volume being built out here. Okay. Big buy got caught, did he? The 400 lot again. The 400 level. I mean, they're still holding for now. We're not traded away from it yet. Once we start trading away from it and we know that they're caught, it'll be good. We've got to get back under these 80s, really. So the 400 to 380 is your current rotation, right? They're just battling over. We're building out volume, basically. This will start to thicken up, right? Like this. Right? We're building out this volume shelf at the moment. Let's see if we can leave the shelf, get into IB, and rotate under here again. Remember, I've got to remind you, 60s was the level that they bid at all day long. He's been very aggressive at 60. If he's had his exit, he won't be there, and that would be nice. If he got his exit into maybe he just needed to get into previous week low or something to get his exit. So if he was long from here all last week, he needed to bid up just to get out as possible. I mean, he had some serious size to do it. Yeah, value area will certainly shift up if we stay up here, if we don't leave it soon. Point of control will shift if we're here too much longer as well. You can see we're developing a lot of volume up here at the moment. So we're finding price acceptance here at the moment. We're looking to leave this area, and we're not leaving this area. If they hold it, we can't rule out coming up here. We cannot rule that out, right? Which is why we need to have patience for this next trade. If it sets up, it might not set up. Yeah, 10-year. They all went flying. Maybe you missed this morning, JD. They all did that move we've talked about, that breakout move. They want to trade 75s here. They're trying to get these 75s going. This guy's still bidding 80s. They're sat trying to absorb at 80s and below at the moment. Let's see if we trade into them and how we act. It'd be nice to get one more trade here. Yeah, I'm sure it did, Dave. I don't give any credit to M&Q because no institutional player is using M&Q, right? So I need to know where the volume is that institutional players are using. Oh, sorry to hear that, JD. Hope you're okay, mate. Okay, buyers trapped at 400 again there. They came in aggressively at 400 again and got sold into. That was a big lot there, or decent size, 75 plus lot into 400. He just got trapped again. We need to see this move away from this grey box. I'm trying not to front run this, but definitely developing weak value area high 400 is a big level. They keep fading that. Every time a buyer steps in here, he's being sold into. So that's one good sign. We just need to move away from this level now. And we have to be aware of 60 if we're going to trade it. Starting to see volume come in for downside. So here's 80s again. Can we see some aggression step in here and some momentum start to take over? Back to the 80s. We want to see this trade back down to 60s. We want to lose this POC now and trade downside. And we're going to have to be very careful in and around 60s, okay? I don't know if they're going to rebid it. I need to see follow through. Come on, guys. Hello. Wakey, wakey. Just snap it. ES doing it. Coming back down to VWAP already. Here we go. Okay, beautiful. All right. Be careful into 60s here if you're trading this with me. You can cover some into 60s and we can look for continuation under now. Same trade as earlier. Be very careful into this level here if they start absorbing the tape. I want this buyer to just disappear. If he's not here, we can go lower. We're at value area high on the day here. So cover a little bit here and let's see. Yes. Let's go. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more. Let's rotate the whole fucking value now. Right. Alex, calm yourself down, mate. All right, into this imbalance. Be careful here, right? This is where we squeezed up, so we're going to fill some of this in. We have a node here into sort of 50s, 47s and 50s. Yes. Beautiful. Taking a little bit up off there, so I'm not greedy. And let's see if we can rotate the whole way. Next stop I've been looking at, it will be 530s. Again, took lots of patience. I wasn't even convinced I was going to take it. Let's go. ES letting go now. Thank God. All right, I want to see VIX trade through this pivot that we came and failed at earlier into 1925. Coming into point of control here, make sure you're covering some into the 330s here, please. Into these VWAPs, please make sure you're covering some. And once we bleed below this, it would be really fun. But we got to assume that might not happen. The same setup as earlier, really. They just have to do one more squeeze out. So my assumption now is the guy that was relentlessly bidding these, he needed his exit up here into that weekly level. He's got his exit because he's not appeared again at 60. So if we reject 60s now and reject this, we should wash hard. If he's done with it, we should wash hard because he's been propping it up all day. Let's go. All right, here are the 30s. VWAP. So IB to VWAP again. Pay yourself here, please. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Want this node now, really, if we pop, this has to act as resistance. Don't want to reclaim of that. Certainly don't want to reclaim of that. Here we go. We're going to come test this level. So same level, right? 60s where he was earlier. We don't want to just squeeze straight through, and we certainly don't want it through 80s. All right, that will be a leave alone scenario for me, just like the last time if we do that. I'm going to set up at 80s and above. Here's to VWAP. Do they resell this now? It's a good resell there. Mr. Bid still here at 60s again. Mate, this guy. All right, well, it's now or never. They either sell this now or they sell it never, and we're going to go back upside again. Very ugly if they reclaim this shelf above this grey level. So we want red and grey to reject. Otherwise, well, this market will be screaming upside again. Watching carefully, waiting to see if I see a buyer come and get stuck here. Sellers last time came in aggressively into 75s. Take my runner off here. Deary me. Oh, it's now or never. If they squeeze through this, then it's a leave alone all the way into lunch for me, probably. They've had enough opportunities to get it done here today, and they haven't done it. That's a relentless bid again. So he didn't catch it, and he came back in at 60s. And look at that. Fuck me. What a shit market. Can't get a runner to go today. What a shit market. No follow through. Well, at least we paid ourselves, but fucking hell, man. How can they let one guy just go bid, and not defend twice? It's the same play again. So we break away. It's what we did earlier. All right. We break away, retest straight through. We break away, retest straight through. It's bad. Like, it's bad. It's bad. There's no sellers defending levels. There are no sellers defending levels. That's not good. That is not good. You went long at 340? Yeah, I don't mind like that, but the fact of the matter that we've traded through this and this is not good. We're not respecting levels here on NQ. We're not respecting volume. We're just one-sided. When we go up, we're one-sided. Like, we're ripping through, ripping through, ripping through. If they recatch this on a bid now, what are you going to do? Can't sell it again. It's had the opportunity, right? I can't sell this again now. This is just like earlier. We're back over the level. So my feeling is we're not respecting levels at the moment. And that's problematic. Like, what a squeeze. If they sell this all the way that down after running my runner out, oh my God, you absolute something or others. Big buyer here again. You absolute something or others, I won't say on stream. And they're now using this low volume node as support. That's disgusting, man. Yeah, done with this for the day. No way am I touching this. No way am I touching this. Look at that. Oh. Would have really liked to have just got a follow through today. But no, well, at least we paid ourselves. It's just a shame, man. It's just a shame. And they're rebidding. They're not done with it. Fucking hell, man. Right, let's do some giveaways. How are we doing for the likes? Need 40 more likes here, folks. Sorry, 30 more likes here. Let's get to 400. And then we'll do giveaways because I'm not touching this the rest of the day now. This is what I would call sloppy. So protected this, which is fine. That's why we cover into here. But the fact that this isn't protected and we run straight through, and this isn't protected and we run straight through, that concerns me of the lack of respect for levels. And so I need to be very, very careful. They've clearly not got their exit. Overall, we're bearish. Daily is right on lower Bollinger Band. We've extended outside of the lower Bollinger Band and caught a bid, which makes sense. We don't want to extend outside of that. It's trying to hold up and let the market catch up to it. But how we're playing intraday, trading through stuff, that concerns me when we do stuff like this. That really concerns me. 5 and 15 look ugly. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's just straight bid up back to this level. Right, here's your gap. There's your gap. Here's your supply. And they're trying to retest this. That's what they want to do. They're trying to come into this, which they're already, there's divergence because we're already into this in the ETF. Right, this is just 615s in the ETF. That's why they keep getting stuck here every time. Fucking hell, trading view. Pissed me off. There we go. All right, back into that same level again. There you go, just straight squeeze back up. This is what I mean. They're not respecting levels. The sellers will not step in at the moment. At least we got some. 3 for 3, but it was this, this, and this, but no follow through, unfortunately. At some point, probably when I'm off stream, they'd probably do the follow through trade. Sod's law, right? Well, probably when I'm done with it, they probably give the follow through when they're done messing about. No, well, I'm trying to stick to the higher time frame, right? I'm trying to stick to the higher time frame. So that's why I'm trying to trade the extremes on the sell. I'm trying to trade the pro trend, which is in a sell. Trying to ignore the bid up. It doesn't mean it can't go higher. it doesn't mean it's not a valid trade for you guys. But if, let me zoom this out. All right, if the main trade right now is, oh, fuck, don't do that, is leaving all of this, right? We've left 4 weeks worth of volume, right? I want to sell this down into the next block. The counter trend bid up is possible, but I would rather wait for buyers to get stuck and sell it down, which is what we're trying to time today. I don't want to play this trade here, right? I'd rather lean on it back down. It's a safer trade for me. Hopefully that makes sense. That's the only reason. It's the higher time frame. Okay, 400 likes. Let's do a giveaway. Wait for me to set it, please, folks, because I haven't set it up yet. So if you type it too early, nothing will happen. Let me set it up. Okay, first one, we're going to give away Apex account. Just type FCT in chat once. Guys, a couple minutes. Please don't spam, guys. Please don't spam. You only need to do it once. Globex hanging out here at 440 still. Give you guys 30 more seconds and we'll pull this winner. Get it up so it's ready. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Danny Snipes. I'm sure Danny's won before. Danny Snipes, are you here? Let me know you're here, Danny. Nice. All right, just shoot me an email, info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged in, and we'll sort you out a free Apex account, any size you want. Give it another 15 minutes, guys, and we'll do a course giveaway as well. You never won. Okay, cool. Well, that's good. There you go. New winner. New winner. All right, new high of day there. Just about nicked the high of day. Missing Globex still not taking out Globex. Back to these 400s. It's amazing the chop going on here. Multiple drives now into this key level. We know that they're going to keep selling this key level. It's just when is there going to be follow through, if ever? Hopefully soon. Back down to previous day. Value area high and point of control now. Big node down here. If we start losing this, do they rotate again? Probably, but Alex is pretty much exhausted from having to go too many times into lunch. So is this the time when they do it? Like I said, it's probably going to happen when I've had enough goes, right? It's probably going to happen when I've had enough goes. It's kind of what we're seeing at the moment. Certainly feels that way. If they reject this node, it's probably going to happen. I just, yeah, I've had a few attempts here already, folks, haven't I? So having to just say to myself, hey, you've made good money. There's not been follow through. Do you really want to keep forcing? You're going to really do it now when I'm out. You are, aren't you? You fucking horrible bastards. If they flush this low of day, you are going to see a grown man cry like a little baby on stream. If they flush this low of day. Oh, you can only laugh. You can only laugh. I know it's coming. It's just fucking sod's law. It's sod's law. It's going to do it. It is sod's law that this is what is now going to happen. Boom, 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 boom. I guarantee it. Oh, this is trading chat. It's funny. You just got to laugh. No, here it comes. Oh my god. If you want to play it, you need to do what I just said, really. You need a reaction from here. This is what we failed to react off, right? Each time. But they're flushing through again. If they don't protect this low now, if they sell this and don't protect the low, they will collapse the move today. There's lots of people keep trying to attempt to bid this up, and if they haven't got it, like 1, 2, 3 as your 3 drives. It's just a shame we haven't rejected underneath, but I think it's probably coming. This is a big, strong flush. I'm just a little bit upset that I'm not getting it my way. Sod's law. Oh, it's an English saying. What would that be the equivalent of? I don't know how to explain sod's law. It's like it happens when you're not in it. Like you're positioned for something and it does it when you're not in it. Or like you buy a lottery ticket every week with the same numbers and the one week you don't buy it, you would have won. That's sod's law. It's like an English saying. Yeah, they watch my live stream. They definitely don't. You're riding the triple top. Oh, you're short at the highs. Very nice. Very nice. Everything over 400 has been a good short today, basically. You see they're stacking here at 65 and 70s. They want to sell this down. ES back to VWAP. They want to sell this down, folks. They are trying to sell this down. You're probably, honestly, you're probably going to get the move I was waiting for all day. You're probably going to get it. I'd watch point of control into 330s, and if you lose that, it is good night, sweetheart. So if you lose this down here, it is good night. You're going to get a full rotation. At least you can see it. It's at least you can see what we were looking for each time. Well, we're 3 for 3. It's not like we've lost. It's just like if this does the follow through, it's where I would have made all the money. What does that mean, Matthew? Quando diventi senza pura la vita diventa senza le... What's that? Le metti? What does it mean? Yes, Victor Meldrew. I don't bloody believe it. Yeah, I don't bloody believe it. Showing our age there. So I'll be watching for a rejection here. Either of this. This is literally is exactly what we're looking for earlier, right? Either here or here needs to reject for follow through downside. That's what I would be personally looking for. I'm not going to trade it now. I've had 3 attempts on the day. Ronaldo for me. People will hate me for that, but Ronaldo over Messi for me. I did go and watch Messi last year for Inter Miami against LAFC and Suarez and all them lot. Right, so here you're going to get this retest. This is what's important. This retest here. So 370, 380s. Where's this edge? 380s. So how we react here becomes key. Remember, the last few times, we simply haven't reacted. We've traded straight back through it, which is why I'm not having a huge winning day, because my runners just won't go for me today. So we're going to do the same thing. They're still trying to bid the same level. And it all depends whether they reject this low volume node and sellers protect this high volume node for downside action, or do we trade straight back through it to the upside? I don't know, folks. We should be trading downside. That's how I've lent on it all day. Right, been looking for acceleration downside. There you go. So you're starting to see that reaction in a good way. You want to see a lower low here. You want to see a bear flag and a lower low and a snap. What I'd want to see is this and come and clean out these guys here. And if you're lucky, you get down here. It's looking good. It's looking good. If any of you have taken that, it's looking good. Miami's Bambi. Yeah, it's true. It was all right. I just got annoyed. Like, it was just a stadium full of children screaming Messi, even when he didn't have the ball. Just found it annoying. You accidentally deleted the newsletter. What was the zone for you this week? It was the old point of control around 325, 330s. And looking to see if we find acceptance underneath 25, 175, right? So we're at the moment, we're not finding acceptance underneath, which means potentially we're going to back test the edge of sort of balance. So all the way up to 25, 700, but 25, 500, 25, 700, seeing if sellers want to reject there for lower prices or not. The problem is, because of the gap, we're going to need a day or two of consolidation just for the Bollinger Bands and SMAs to catch up. So are we going to trade straight through this again? Am I going to be happy that I didn't take this trade? If we trade straight through this again, it is an awful. This is awful. This is awful. It just doesn't care. It doesn't care about the nodes right now, InQ. I get annoyed fast at things. Put you in my shoes right now, mate. We'll see. You're lucky I'm even here, honestly. And that's not me being arrogant. If you had going on in your life what I have going on in my life, you probably wouldn't be here. So how about you stum it? It takes a devil to drive out another devil. That's a good one. Quite like that. Look at these washes, man. This is crazy. Crazy market. Back to point of control again. Look at this. Wash up, wash down. Wash up, wash down. Volatility still pretty high. Well, that's it, Adam. That's the problem. We're not respecting enough well enough. My bias is downside, but we're just not respecting. So it makes it very hard to position against stuff when they keep doing these. Now it's going to go, is it? Like, it's crazy, isn't it? Feels heavy to me, I tell you that. It feels like it wants to move lower. Starting to look like a little bit toppy in my mind. This is still the key levels, same levels. Node here at 40. I think there's a drift back down into these at the very least. And I think really if you see weakness, you might see this come all the way back down, honestly. It's very, very, very possible. If that buyer who's been in all day starts turning into a seller, the tape will change very quick. Someone's trying to sell down to 30s again. Yeah, no, they've been steady rise, but you've got to understand, guys, when you're looking at the mag, we went over this. Like, they're being sold into, right? Pops are being sold into on the mag. Pops are being sold into. Goog hasn't, and that was the one this morning that we said might have to gap fill up here to be sold into, right? It's probably going to be sold into up there, isn't it? That's where people are trapped, right? If you understand what support and resistance is and supply and demand, it's just trap participants, right? So anything that's driving higher, you're just waiting for it to come into a level where participants are trapped, which is what we have here. If we zoom out here, right? What's the level where participants are trapped? It's here. It's here, right? This right here. If we go QQQ, why do you think we keep rejecting up there? It's a big pivot, right? That's why I said 15s and above. Big pivot. We keep rejecting it. It's not rocket science. It's just they're making it harder today than it needs to be, because they're not allowing you to have follow through downside. What platform am I using? NinjaTrader. I execute on NinjaTrader. This is TradingView that you're looking at here. This is so I can chart for you guys. You want to test the Jan low? What, the 250s? That's what you mean down here? Yeah, very possible. Today, you mean? Follow through for 250. That would be a nice level to play to. All right, still they're trying to bid. These are still the same levels, folks. Same levels. Coming into lunch, you got 4 minutes into lunch. Let's do one more giveaway. Let me sort this out. Okay, I give away a beginner course for you guys. Just type course once in chat. Back up to this same zone. Incredible. Incredible strength. Give you guys a minute longer. I really hope we get a follow-through day this week. Really hope. Definitely, Adam. Definitely. I mean, I got caught in it, not for a not here, but covered most. Was it this one or this? I can't remember, or both. But runners got taken out both times. Was so well positioned for those runners to work. But look, we made like 50 plus points. It's just I'm trying to get all the way down here. I think there's a 200 plus point trade in here. Just do they need to come up for this first? Do they really want to get into here? It's a hell of a move if they do. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I'm nice and green, but still got caught in the bullshit. Not getting as green as I'd like. It's horrible trying to be patient with a runner and watching it coming all the way back on you. It's like it's just the worst feeling in the world, giving something room and giving 50 points back on it. It's how it goes when you want to set yourself for the big ones. All right, let's pull this winner. 3, 2, 1. Jason Mackinson. I think I've said it right. Jason Maxson. There you go. Jason Maxson. Are you here, Jason? Yeah, nice one, Jason. All right, all you got to do, shoot me an email, please, buddy. info@flowzonetrader.com. Just send me a screenshot of you logged in. I'm just making a note of your name here for the course. And I'll get you the introduction to trading course. Save yourself 100 quid. So info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged in so I can see it's you. That is probably going to be it, folks. I am not convinced I'm loving this right now. But this is what you've got. We are in a sell. Believe it or not, we're in a sell. All right, we're in a sell. Every pop-up into this block is getting sold into. We're just not seeing this follow through, which is what I would really like to see. The reason I want to see that follow through is if we look at this on the hour. So this is setting you up for later in the day or tomorrow. If we look at this hourly chart, right, we cannot find acceptance so far underneath here. And we're trading to an extreme of this. Okay, I want to sell this back down to here, right? Because we haven't retested this in a New York session. So I would like to sell somewhere up here, back down for this retest. If we stay heavy under here, then I think the market gets very, very weak. The reason being is if we start zooming out, right, we're going to leave all of these players trapped and likely use these stops, which means everyone here is now out of the money. And it's at this point that you've really got to think it's night-night, because this is all on the new contract. We'll be under the new contract lows, and it means, you know, we can start really getting aggressive under 24.88 and start diving back down for a retest into the 24500s and below. All right, so that's what I'm looking for with this market. If we reclaim this old balance, if for whatever reason it wants to reclaim this old balance, then I'll respect it. But this is an area where we've now left balance. All right, I cannot stress that to you enough why this is important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of balance in here. Think about all the buyers in here who are stuck. We're under their pain point. We want to try and sell their pain point for downside pressure. All right, but we have to respect this one here. So we're selling pain down to here. If we get acceptance under it, we're going to look for new value, probably down into here somewhere and below. That's why I'm focused short side right now. If we reclaim this, fair enough. But if we come up here and fail, I'll still be looking to sell it. I'm not going to get long unless we reclaim all of this and start to base for a rotation. Okay, so there's my sort of bias for the week. Hopefully that kind of helps you make sense of why I'm trying to fade pops right now, why I'm looking for buyers to get stuck at highs. It's because I know the higher time frame has a lot of buyers stuck above. Yeah, exactly. I would agree with CB. Good day, good green day. Same with me. Good green day, well into 4 figures green, but not as good as it could have been. If there was follow through, it would have been much bigger. But there we go. Any questions, folks? You're into lunch now, remember? Any questions? Anything you want to ask before I get off? I should probably tell you about the prop firm, shouldn't I? So I never do that. I'm not a very good affiliate, am I? Code FCT. What do you get right now? Apex is 80% off. With code FlowZone, Take Profit Trader is 40% off. Funded Next. I'm not sure what they've the biggest discount there at the moment. We can have a look. Might be 20%, maybe more. Tradeify is 40% off at the moment as well with my code FCT. Legacy, what are these coming in at? It's not that bad. $15 off right now on Funded Next on a 50K. I think there's some big sales coming there soon. The VP indicator I got MT5 changes the values when I change the time frame, but I can't dock it in a certain time frame. Which one do you advise me to set up for accuracy when I trade with 1 and 5? I don't use MT5, so I couldn't tell you, my friend. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you there. I don't use MT5. What size do you trade, and do you do props or live? Futures I trade props, and for ETFs I trade live account. FCT didn't work for TPT. Yeah, it's FlowZone for TPT. The links are all under there. FlowZone for TPT. What indicators do I use? Just my FlowZones really, and VWAP. Any resources I recommend to study? Just anything for free. Do everything for free on my channel first before you do anything else. If you're looking for stuff outside of that, just all the usual key books, psychology books, really. Once you know the technicals, it's just psychology. It's all it is. Yes, Adam, don't worry. I'm well aware. AVP settings, of course I will. Of course I will. Here you go. So width 20. Placement on the right. Sorry, you want this, don't you? Ticks per row and row size 2. And leave value area as normal. And then I have it set to volume profile and set for 20% width and placement on the right. That's it. That's all I do. Very, very simple. How's payout with TPT? Payout with TPT is very good. Very good, very quick. It normally takes a day or two. What have I taken this month? Where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 out of it this month. Normally takes a day or two. You normally put in the request, and then it takes maybe 12 hours after you put in the request for them to approve. And then once the request approved, you can transfer it into your account. And that was normally done same day or the next day. It's very good. Greetings from Oklahoma. My first visit. I enjoyed your input on today's session. What prop firms are you using? The 5 down below. Apex, Funded Next, Take Profit Trader, Lucid, Tradeify. Those are the 5, my favorite 5 this year. How much adverse range do you allow per trade? How do you size your position around it? I size based on the swing points, right? Based on ATR and swing points. So This is also one of the problems today. So the ATR gets tight, and then we're having these huge candle rippers. ATR was pretty volatile this morning, but I size based on swings. So if I'm, where was like a breakdown? If I'm short here for this breakdown, I'm risking up here. Right? I have to risk the other side of this. And then depending on my account size, right, if I'm short here, I have to be willing to risk the other side of that node. TP1 is into VWAP, and then TP2 is down into here, which is what I was hoping to get, a 7.5 trade, 7.5 trade. Didn't get it. We didn't get it. It's okay. 150 point trade that would have been. So it's all, my sizing is always based on where my stop is. My stop's based on the technicals. Right? Stop has to be based on technicals. You can't just do a 20 point stop because you feel like it. If the ATR per 1 minute candle is 20 or 30 or 40 points, then your 20 point stop doesn't mean anything. What size accounts do I trade? Mainly 50Ks. Mainly 50Ks. Currently this is a 1 minute. Any books I advise to read? Yes. I'll give you my book list. I should probably put all this on my website, shouldn't I? Make it easier for you guys. Where's my Audible? Do you ever rebuy blown TPT Pros? No, waste of money. They're like $600 to rebuy, or it's like $100 to just pass in 2 days. I wouldn't waste that money. Okay, audiobooks. Atomic Habits. These are going to be ones you'll all be well aware of. Atomic Habits. I don't like any of these ones. Outliers. Malcolm Gladwell. All of the Market Wizards. All of them. Start with the old ones, but all of them. Trading the Zone, Mark Douglas. Mental Game of Trading, Jared Tendler. Best Loser Wins, Tom Hogard. I would say my favorite one, like I always talk about though, is Golf is Not a Game of Perfect by Bob Rotella. And then I would do like meditation type stuff like Joe Dispenza or anything like that. Calms your mind down. And The World is for Sale, Javier Blas, if you want to understand the crookedness in trading. And Fooled by Randomness as well. Very good book. All of those. Oh, hello, market. You can do it while everyone's at lunch, are you? So, bro, any point video you can point to show how to set up your indicators on TradingView. Do you already have my indicators on TradingView? It's just one. It's my Flow Zone Pro. It's just one indicator. There's not really anything to set up. Golf, yeah, golf is not a game of perfect. Why does TPT with Tradeify? It's not a TPT thing, mate. It's just Tradeify, multi-account stop capability. I don't know. I don't use it. I use NinjaTrader. I don't trade anything web-based. Man, these absolute cretins are going to sell this. Chimp Paradox. Yeah. I know all about Chimp Paradox. The first time I found out about Chimp Paradox was, do you know who, I don't know where you're from. Do you know who Gavin Henson is? It's a Welsh rugby player from back in the day. And they sent Gavin to, they flew him in like a private jet or helicopter. Do you know this story? Otherwise, I won't tell it if it bores you, but they flew him in a helicopter to see that doctor. And he sat with, it wouldn't have been with Gatlin, it would have been with someone else. He sat with his coach, maybe his one of the Wales coaching staff, and sat in a room, and the guy questioned him, and Gavin just felt like, why am I in a room with this guy, and why did my coaching staff here asking me, like, at the same time listening in? They didn't get anywhere, and then after like an hour, he turned around to his coach, or the psychologist said, his chimp's in full control, he's got no chance, and he never knew what he meant. And that's what it was. That's the first time I heard of him. And then Gavin said he saw the book like 20 years later and realized. But yeah, that's also why Robbie Williams' film, I don't know if you've seen that film, is him as a chimp. Same thing. You're on NT and still have problems copying my setup. What problems do you have, Peter? I've got a video on YouTube on how to do that. You had to read it at uni. Oh, there you go, Danny. Well, then, where are you from in Wales, mate? Wales. Yeah, price action is just messy today, folks. It's messy. All I'd say is you have a lot of volume built up here. And if price cannot find acceptance above that, then the pro trend is down. If it can find acceptance above that, then it's going to come into these levels up here that we talked about, where I expect sellers to be hanging out waiting. So it's just a question. Like my thing is, I this feels like a small cap to me right now. All right. So let's just play a game. This is the game that I think's been played at the moment. Let's say some funds have been caught a little bit offside here. Right? Let's say that. What do they need to do? They need to get price back into here, right, so that they can get out flat. So how do they do that? They bid the tape up relentlessly, and then they unload their position. And then next time it comes down here, when people expect there to be support, they won't be, because the guys that were propping it were just looking for an exit. That's how I feel about this market right now. I think people are just looking for an exit. I think this will be sold. I think this gap will probably remain open unless something drastically changes. I can't really see us doing this. And if we do, that will be sold. This will just still be pro trend, right? Because we've left the value. What is the win rate of your indicator setup? I wouldn't know, actually. You have to ask someone who just trades the indicator alone. I wouldn't be able to tell you because I don't use it just by itself. Not being a dick, I just wouldn't be able to tell you. Probably pretty decent, other than in choppy days it will struggle. When you go flat, you don't want to use it. Can't find AVP. It's not an indicator. It's down here in this one. Volume based, right? So in projections, anchored volume profile. Stoic traders helped me out a lot this year. Yeah, Stoic's good. Sometimes I think some of his reads are off, but I think he is good. He trades. What's his model? His model is something like, I don't know how we do it. Something like that, isn't it? It's basically a 2-leg to be rebid. Or it might be like something like that. What does he use? Like a 21 and 200. So like this and this. I guess he'd be long from there. So maybe maybe this would be his model. Is it in the New York session? This might be his model. So 1, 2, 2-leg down, sweep, go. That's probably his model, something like that. Previous day high and low. You've told me to plot daily. Do I also plot previous day point of control? I do, yeah. It's right here. It's just hard to see. All right, last few questions, guys. I'm going to get out of here after that. No worries, John. Rocket. If you're using Bookmap, you will need a data feed. Some people on here might use it with data from one of the prop firms if you're using a prop firm. Otherwise, you'll need to pay for it. I pay for it. What's my name? Alex. What about initial balance? Yeah, it's these purple lines. IB. What are the ribbons? 13, 21, 34, 72, 89. Is that right? Or is it 21, 34, 45, 72, 89? God, my brain's not working. Those are the main ribbons. Rolling Fibonacci's. That's why. But I mean, if you want to make it easier, just use this indicator. This is probably the model here, is it, JD? 21, 200, 2-leg, break of structure, upside. That's probably the model, I'm assuming. It's something like that anyway. What a absolute mess. I think it will go down as soon as I leave the desk. I think it's exactly what it's going to do. It's literally exactly what it's going to do, because the market is annoying. Oh, it's a book. Okay. Ryan Holiday. I'm going to look that up. Thank you, mate. I didn't know you were referring to a book. I thought you were referring to the trader. All right, folks, I'm going to get out of here. I would set price alerts, guys. Set price alerts for the key levels, especially for this level on VIX. All right. If you want to help your bias, this level on VIX where we keep rejecting is key. All right. This is what I was talking about earlier. Look at the same kind of setup. If VIX gets through this level and VIX starts to squeeze, right, you're going to see downside pressure in the ES, and hopefully that broader market pressure will come into NQ. All right, we're finding a bid on this level. This is an old resistance level, which, surprise, surprise, is now support. Okay, so I'd be watching VIX to see if it can break through 1925. That's when you're going to see much, much more follow through. Much, much more follow through. All right, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. All the links down below if you want to check out any of the courses on my website or any of the free material on my YouTube. All the links are down below. And any code that you use for the prop firms, obviously that money just goes straight back into the stream. Peace and love, everyone. I'll pop in Discord in a bit. I've got to take my dog out for a walk. And yeah, take care, be safe. Don't do anything stupid. Don't get trapped in all this nasty little choppy action, right? It's basically first day back for the week. So we'll see where we're at into tomorrow. Take care.